do it.
We wait for anyone else? You don't want to? Okay. We are recording this. It's not live, but it will be posted on YouTube, just so you know. Good afternoon. We are here today for the public hearing for the 2027 through 2031 Capital Improvement Plan budget request. The City Planning Commission is required by the Home Rule Charter to prepare a 5-year capital improvement plan for the City of New Orleans and to assist in the preparation of the city's annual capital budget. Each agency will be provided an opportunity to present their request to be heard by the City Planning Commission. We will go around with a round of introductions and then we may begin. So I'm Cameron Boissiere with the City Planning Commission.
I'm Haley White with the City Planning Commission.
Kyle Holman for the capital budget.
Brian Whited, Municipal Yacht Management Corporation.
Miguel Bateri from Capital Projects.
Jerry Harris, Director of Capital Projects.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, the first item we have is the fishing pier restroom, which is a FEMA project, and there is some ineligible funding. So we're requesting $155,284 to cover that ineligible funding.
If you would talk a little bit about the scope of the utilities.
Sure, the fishing pier was moved from its original location, which had the restroom. The fishing pier has been built and was relocated. This is the restroom. We would put it next to the fishing pier. It also puts it closer to the boat launch. Because of the move, the length of the utilities runs is substantially more. FEMA declined to fund that, so this is why it's ineligible funding. The next item is the Weston Park Darlington electric fountain. It was a fountain built in the 1920s. It was refurbished at one point in the 80s, I believe, but it really hasn't been functional since then. So right now it is a non-functioning fountain, and we're asking for some money to preserve it and get it partially functional. $100,000 request for that. The next one is the completion of the floating dock facility. The floating docks were a FEMA project. I think the total cost was $26 million approximately. That's all been completed. There's some additional areas which we could add boat slips, create more dock space, and just increase the size of the facility. So we're asking for $1.784 million for that. That would generate income for the yacht harbor and the city through taxes. The next item is the restoration of the historical lighting at Weston Park. After Katrina, all of the lighting around the park was destroyed. Those were, I think, from the 30s, the original 1930s lights that were all functional at that time. They were all removed and replaced with generic lighting. So we have a request for $755,505 to basically rebuild those, recast them, and replace them as they were originally done to meet the other things, the other stuff in the area, make it match, look nice. And the last thing we have is Breakwater Drive Park Playgrounds. That would go next to the fishing pier, restroom, and boat launch. That's already a very highly used public area. Breakwater Park has been completely renovated. It's a large grassy area, so it's a good idea to put a playground there. And that request is for $540,750. That's it.
Thank you. I do have a question. I've noticed that majority of them are requested for 2028. Can you speak to why that is?
I think it just kind of worked out this way with the request. I think we're gonna probably next year look and try to stagger them a little bit based on some of the work that we're kind of completing in the next availability of funds. So I think it's just basically,
Timing wise, it makes sense.
Okay.
yeah.
Has anyone done the design for the playground, or is that that's to start the process of
Yes.
designing site? Okay. Just out of curiosity, do you self-generate funds as Municipal Harbor? One
Yeah.
that also sell that. Okay, Haley, do you have any questions?
I don't have any.
No? Sarah?
No, I mean, we're hopeful that we'll get an extension for the FEMA PW. I know it hasn't really been prioritized. We think, you know, JIR will get extended. We don't know about the municipal auditorium either. But we're hopeful so that we can get that restroom built at least, so. I don't really have any other questions though. Were there IDA damages at any other facilities?
There's a few IDA damages, and I'm procuring those
Yeah.
shortly.
They were
I think
very minor.
the boathouse and, admin building had something, and then I think there was, I think it was under 45,000.
And then I guess like, so if we were to build out the additional floating docks, I don't know, is there like, do you currently contribute funding back to the city? You know?
So we receive no income from the city.
Right.
And then we maintain the entire West End area with the proceeds.
Yeah.
So which includes the Point Recreation area, the boat launch, the fishing pier, all of West End Park, that all areas we maintain and pay for. So that's part of it. That's one of the way we give back to the city. The city doesn't pay to maintain any of that area. And there are taxes on, boat slips, 3%, they're a 3% tax, so they get taxes based on that. And then we're also, in the process of developing the old restaurant site, where all the old seafood restaurants are, and that will generate tax revenue for the city.
So basically, yeah, so indirectly taxes, but also then generate more revenue so that you could potentially do some of this smaller work maybe in-house if we had that additional. And then, were you talking about the new development that's gonna happen out there?
Yeah, it's in process.
Okay, so like, I know there was an agreement inked then between, Orleans and Jefferson Parish, so kind of, what are like the next steps? I'm just curious.
And again, I can't talk on it too much because it's still being negotiated. There hasn't been a signing of any documents yet, but they're negotiating and trying to iron out the last details to move forward.
Okay.
It's between the state and the city, right?
Between the state, the city, and Jefferson Parish. So if they're under agreement, they have agreed, and now there's working on
To
some
a
of the
framework,
details.
and then, yeah, they have to get, yeah, that's cool.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, well, thank you so much.